Welcome back to MMA Oddsbreaker. Michael Chandler this week is our guest, getting ready to fight Eddie Alvarez again and again and again. It seems like, no disrespect to Bellator, I mean, because you're a company guy and that's how you are, but it's you and Eddie, and then Tito and Rampage and King Mo, and really that's kind of it. Like, that's the big name guys on there. So at 205, they've got a bunch of matchups. But for you guys, I mean, really, what else is there other than Chandler and Alvarez right now?
I don't know. I'm just focused on Chandler and Alvarez right now, obviously. But you saw it a couple months ago with the Gilbert Melendez thing. I mean, Bellator is actively out there trying to get guys. So I've told them, I've put not pressure on them. It's not like I have any say in the company really, but like I have told them, and they know. Obviously, they know it's in their best interest to sign the biggest name guys that they can, and going out and trying to sign Gilbert was a cool thing, and I was excited for a second, and I was ready to go, beat Alvarez and then hopefully be able to fight him, and then immediately, you get to fight another guy who's top 5 in the world. So, I'm just hoping and believing that Bellator is going to continue to sign some more guys, and see what goes on after that.
You're a smart kid. It's not like you're sitting, you're a country kid, but you're smart. So don't want the rest of America to be like, oh, he's a country, he doesn't really know what's going on. You look, you're smart, you're educated.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you graduated from the University of Missouri, but we'll forgive you for that one. You look at the numbers, you see the commission reports, you see what these guys are getting paid. You know what they're getting paid on paper. Plus, we all know the locker room bonuses and the extra money that comes in when they're fighting for the UFC. Is Bellator comparable for you, at least, for guys at your same level? It's your same ranking within the same weight class. Are you kind of close to the same pay over at Bellator? Or is Bellator in a position where to get guys like Gilbert, they're going to have to open up a bank account they've never opened up before to get guys like Gilbert to come over? Because he was making a lot of money.
Yeah, well, I think he was making a lot of money because of the Strikeforce contract, and then the UFC had to honor that one. And then I imagine the way all the negotiations went down, the UFC didn't want to pay him what he was making, and Bellator was. So that was a situation in which Bellator was actually willing to pay more than the UFC for a second, and then the UFC ended up paying. But I mean, I think I'm in a unique situation. I think I'm making considerably more than everybody else in Bellator, especially at my weight classes or even some guys heavier than me. But I'm just in a great situation, and that's the reason I signed that contract, like a year ago or so, whatever it was. So, I think it's comparable. I think I'm still young. I think it's, for what I'm making and how long I've been in the sport, I think it's a good situation, and, we'll see what they come to the table with next.
You saw the number that Bellator had offered Gilbert. They're going to honor that, the Strikeforce contract. Were you okay with them offering Gilbert that kind of money? Was it all right? Or were you kind of like, well, hold on a second, like, I'm the star. I'm one of the stars right now of the company. How is he getting, that amount compared to my amount?
Well, I mean, I look at the facts on paper. I mean, Gilbert's a bigger name than me. He's been in the sport longer than me, I guess. So therefore, if they continue to sign guys and they have to bring guys over and they have to pay him more than me, that's fine with me. I just want fights. I want to fight people. If they sign Gilbert Melendez for $1 million a fight, I wouldn't be worried about the money. I'd be just excited about fighting Gilbert. And nothing against him. I just want to be able to fight the top guys in the world. So yeah, at this point, the whole as fighters, I mean, when you sign on that dotted line, you agree to that money. You can't get 3 fights into your contract and say, well, hey, what happened here? I should be getting paid more. Well, we know what we're going to get paid all 6 fights or all 5 fights or all 3 fights of our contract. So the whole Nate Diaz thing, what he's doing, saying he deserves more money, he shouldn't have put money on that contract. He shouldn't put his name on that contract. You can't get 3-4 fights into your contract and all of a sudden want to go on a labor strike because you think you're not getting paid enough. But a couple of months ago, you signed on the dotted line. So I did that, and I just got to be happy with what I'm getting paid.
It must be that Big 12 upbringing, because I said the exact same thing years ago. Like, we don't get what we're worth, we get what we negotiate. And once we negotiate it, that's it. You want more money? Do good during that contract. At the end of the contract, then you ask for more money. You can't in the middle of it. That's we're warriors. We're samurai. At the end of the day, we're the modern day samurai. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
And you can't turn around your back. You can't turn around and go, oh look, I want more money now because of this. That's like it's like thievery. Is a promotion? Are some promotions stealing from us as fighters? Yeah. Are some promotions, getting more money off our backs, kind of like the NCAA does with football, where they're getting so much more money off these quarterbacks and these running backs than they're giving an education? Yeah. But that's the game we sign up for. That's just how it goes. Exactly. Enough about what coulda, woulda, shoulda. Let's talk about what's gonna. And we're talking about Eddie Alvarez as your next battle. It's going to be in Mississippi, which is in South Haven. Weird town. I've been there before. It's a little bit of a strange town for me. Coming from the East Coast and spent a majority of my life after the East Coast and the West Coast. It's a little different down there. It's a little different down in Mississippi, but great fight town, great fight fans, and it's a split between they like stand up, but they also understand the ground game as well. So you won't get that normal Midwest kind of boo when it hits the ground, which is what's going to happen with you guys. It's not going to be a stand-up war. I believe this next time. It's going to be a lot of ground game. What happened in that last fight that made you lose the split decision, and what could you have done differently to convince one more judge to go your way?
I don't quite know. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't understand how the scoring went. I mean, I don't understand. Me and my coaching staff, we don't understand how we lost that second round, I guess, in the judges' scorecards. So really, you don't know. It's so hard, and that's what my coaches and I have worked on. It's so hard to understand what each judge is thinking during the fight. It's not like at the fights the ref comes in and says, "Hey, I'm gonna be reffing your fight. Do you have any questions, problems, concerns? This, and this." We don't get to talk to the judges, so we don't know what these judges are looking at. From fight to fight, so we don't know what kind of fight that we should or what game plan we should tailor that night for that night. So we don't really know. So I took some damage. Obviously, my face was bleeding and swollen. But I mean, I thought I came forward enough. Sorry, excuse me. Came forward, brought the fight to him, got my takedowns, landed good punches. I don't really know what else I could have done besides go out there and finish him, which that's what I need to do next fight, obviously.
I agree with you that I still don't understand. 14 years in the sport as a competitor, and the last 8 years of it as an interviewer, and I don't understand what the judges are looking at half the time. And I always had to tailor my plan to who is my ref. You get in there, you know who the ref is. You have to kind of tailor your plan to what ref you have in there. Now you're saying you need to tailor your plan also to the judges to kind of figure out which way the judges are looking. For me, it's so bad, and I'm tired of complaining about it and saying how bad it is. I'm actually going to Big John McCarthy's reffing and judging school at the end of June, specifically to find out what the hell are these judges looking at. Like, what are they specifically supposed to be looking at, and try to make it better, because the judging is what sucks. And the judging is what I don't understand. Now, I'm biased, obviously, towards you. Yeah. You and I have the same coaches. We've trained together. Like, I'm biased when it comes to. So I looked at it. I was like, no, Mike won. So, but I'm biased, so I kind of leave that fight alone because I have a real hard time separating, oh no, but he got that one strike there versus, oh no, he got that one strike there, and like that whole game. Judges need to be really unbiased. How many of the judges do you actually know? Like, you look at them and go, oh yeah, that's so-and-so, that's so-and-so. Like, how many judges do you actually know by name?
Zero.
And so, how many judges do you know train in the sport? Like, other than coming from a boxing background?
Probably zero.
And so, you're talking about judges. People are supposed to judge you. Just looking at you in judgment and have no idea what they're doing. Have no idea what they're looking at. Yeah. Boxing, I kind of get. It's just two fists. You can kind of, guy hits you, but you got hit a bunch more times. You didn't get hit. So you can have people that have never boxed before actually judge boxing. Yeah. It's like having someone that's never played football or really understands what football is to go ref a game. But MMA is full of that. We have no choice. Yeah. Are you going to look at the judging and the referee sign? Are you going to look at the sheet of the refs that are coming in and look at the sheet of judges that are coming in for your fight with Eddie on May 17th? Are you actually going to know who's coming through for those?
I don't think so. I don't know. I've never actually thought about it until now. I mean, it would be nice to know. I mean, this might sound like it's cheating because I don't know if any people do it, but are we even allowed to talk to the judges? Am I even allowed to say, sir, okay, you're judging the fight. Okay, what are you looking for out there? Because whatever you're looking for, I can go out there and I can do it. And I can go out there and win this fight. I want to finish the fight, but I can go out there and do what you want. But I don't understand what you want. That's the problem. So I didn't know who the judges were in any of my fights, one, I never really looked them up, but this time, obviously, I knew because I actually listened. I actually listened after the fight whenever Michael C. Williams was on the ref. Judge blah 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 scored the fight blah blah blah, and judge blah 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 scored the fight blah blah blah. So, it's just a situation where, yeah, we don't know, and it's kind of like it's almost like it's a mystery type of. Well, let's throw something at the wall and see what sticks, and we'll see what happens at the end of the fight and see who gets their hand raised type of situation, because I don't even know who the judges are, so.
And this will be your first time fighting in Mississippi?
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure what their commission does or has or how they negotiate and take care of things. So I'm not sure if they have, a lot of commissions have to bring in, like Big John McCarthy, they have to fly him in because they don't have enough refs to maintain these fights. Yeah. Other places have to fly in, judges from all over, same thing with the judges to get them in. But Mississippi has a bit of a boxing genre down there. I'm guessing they're going to have a lot of boxing judges that are going to be qualified to go ahead and follow MMA. So if this thing hits the ground a lot, you're in trouble. You hit a guy 15 times in the head, but he hits you once with a big power shot, and sweat flies off and your ears rattle when he hits you, you're in trouble because that's what these guys don't know what they're looking at. They think that the one big power shot's better than the 15 technical shots as you're running around. So it is a daunting problem. Have you and your coaching staff sat down and said, this is what we think happened in the second round. This is what we think. We're having a hard time trying to figure it out, but this is what we think happened. This is what we're going to do differently for this fight.
Yeah, I mean, I guess a little bit, but at the end of the day, you just kind of you gotta just go with your strengths, and you gotta go and you just gotta take a leap of faith and take a chance. I mean, the last thing that we want to do to this sport is have guys not fight to their full potential because they're afraid to fight a certain way also, I mean,
GSP made a career of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. And people I guess, gave him criticism because of it, but I would hate to go in there and not fight a Michael Chandler fight, and that's what the fans want to see. That's what I want to see. That's what I'll be disappointed in myself if I lost the fight and I didn't at least go out there and just go out on my shield, Well,
I think that's the difference between like GSP and most of these other fighters. That Rogan said it quite a bit during this commentary, and I've said it a lot. When I'm talking about him, analysis of his fights, he fights not to lose as opposed to fighting to win. But he always won, so you can't really say anything about a guy like that goes on these long win streaks and just kind of has that mentality, that look, that you can kind of get away with it. But I agree with you. I'd rather either hold my shield on the way out. I'm going out on it. Like I don't want to leave anything back in there. It's that wrestler's mentality. Win, lose, or draw, I want to give it all every single time. If I can pin you, I'm gonna pin you. If I can tech you, I can tech you. If I can knock you out, I'm gonna knock you out. But I'm not just gonna lay here and just go for the quick 1-point victory. That's not my style.
Yeah.
Do you find that hard sometimes in practice? When you're out there and you know that, hey, I need a break. I'm exhausted. It's been a long week. It's Friday night, last practice of the day, and I've got this one guy I know I can just hold and just relax and just lay on him for 5 minutes and get my breath back. Do you find it hard to get yourself back up again and go, look, I got Eddie Alvarez coming at me, who's not going to stop for 25 minutes. What do I got to do? Like, do you find yourself sometimes end of the week having to push yourself up a little bit to get moving?
No, not really. I mean, luckily for me, it's all about it's self-motivation. It's a great, I've been given a great opportunity to do something great. I mean, we all are as fighters. And that's what I try to tell people. I see people, whatever, not giving it their all, not training right, not living right, not doing things right. And I'm just like, I'm not the kind of guy who's going to get in their face and tell them they're doing something wrong, but it's just, I see it as a shame. Anybody who isn't going to pour their life into this sport. And that's what I do. I mean, every single practice, I'm trying to get better every single practice. I'm trying to work on something every single practice. I'm trying to push myself further and further outside of my comfort zone every single practice. So, yeah, I mean, at times, you know how it is. I mean, at times, you physically, you're not there mentally because your body, because of the way your body feels sometimes. And you need a day off and you can't wait. It's Wednesday, but you can't wait till it's Saturday and you still have, 4 to 6 practices left. And, but it's all about that wrestling grind, that wrestling mentality, that's what's prepared me for it. And, just going through these hard training camps, these hard weeks, the times when you feel like a turd and you don't want to go to your next practice, but you just have to, there's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And that's the beauty. It's a beautiful thing because it's almost like I can't take credit for it. I have to give the credit for my wrestling to my wrestling background, whereas these other guys who haven't gone through that, it's so much easier for them to break, and they just, they'll skip practices and they'll take it easy and they'll do this and they'll do that and they won't reach their full potential. But I'm believing I'm going to, just because, of my wrestling background and just being okay with uncomfortability, I guess, basically.
I was having a conversation yesterday with some guys who are like, wrestlers always make weight. We always make weight. And, we make the transfer in MMA. We don't care how, what the deal is. We always make weight, because at least for me, in my teams, if you didn't make weight, you were ostracized. Like, you might be the starter, the number one guy, the returning national champ. But if you didn't make weight for a match, you got pushed down. You got put in a corner. No one wanted to work out with you because you disappointed the team. Like, it became this whole process. And that's, that goes on to with not breaking and not just having that shadow, like, oh, Jesus, sucks, it's Wednesday. I got 6 practices left, but I got to get up and go, kind of thing, that kind of mentality. When you were wrestling at Missouri University, did you have the same kind of thing? If somebody didn't make weight, or somebody had a bad performance, or somebody was physically breaking in the room where the whole team kind of got on them, either by ostracizing them or trying to pick them up? Like, our team was very, we're like the old, because I'm older, so it was like that old Iowa style. We just keep beating on people and eventually get them back in through the beatdown. Did you guys have that same kind of process at school too?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think mainly it was our coaching staff. Mainly it was our head coach, Coach Smith. I mean, whenever he would see a guy, there's a difference between somebody who's actually hurt or somebody who's actually, right, having an asthma attack and they really can't move or whatnot. Because, as we go through those kinds of things that will, a guy who thinks he's tough will end up having almost an asthma attack and can't catch his breath, and he's literally passing out and he needs medical attention. But, nine times out of 10, the guy's just being a sissy, and our Coach Smith would get on him and say some things. And the last thing that you wanted was Coach Smith yelling and saying certain things, because that, as makes you feel like this. There's a lot of people in life that could say things to me and whatnot, but when it was Coach Smith, it was a bad thing. You didn't want to let him down. You didn't want to let your head coach down, and that's the way ours was. We didn't as much have other guys around the room doing it, but like you said, you were a little bit older and that Iowa style, but and that's the thing. That's what attracted me to Alliance. Alliance is a more of a team atmosphere, and there's more of a head coach figure, and now everybody just kind of is supposed to do what they're supposed to do, and or they're supposed to do what they're told. So that's kind of what we're trying to keep here, because at the end of the day, that's where people thrive. That's where literally it's not just I want to give up because I want to do it. It's I don't want to give up because I don't want these 20 guys to see me give up, because if I give up, then they're going to lose a little bit of respect for me. And then next time, how am I supposed to have their back? Or how are they supposed to have my back if I don't have their back, type of situation. And that's what you can only get in a military situation or a wrestling situation, right. Type of team atmosphere,
Last question right out of here. You said Team Alliance. Phil did not look up to par. Phil was not. He didn't compete well against Anthony Johnson. Do you know what happened? Was it bad game planning? Did he mentally get out of it? Did he get hit hard and was kind of loopy at some point? Like, it just seemed like coming that second round, he started taking blind shots. And as a wrestler, I'm sitting there going, "You're an amazing wrestler, and you're taking this blind shot from 2 feet too far away, even for his long ass gorilla arms. Yeah. He still was too far out, and he didn't drive through. It was like, I don't understand what was going on with him."
I don't know. I haven't talked to Phil. I was going to give it a couple days and talk to him, but I think my perception of the fight, I think Anthony Johnson's a big dude, and he hits really, really hard, I imagine. And you saw in that first 2 minutes of the fight, Phil kind of got clipped really, really hard, got rocked. And I think from there, no amount of coaching or no amount of, will or game plan or whatnot can overcome that little bit of hesitancy that you have once you get rocked like that. I've never really been like rocked like that in a fight where, I've been loopy and all that kind of stuff. So I can't attest to how I would react in that situation, but I imagine it's going to make you a little bit more hesitant. Yep. And some of those takedown, those shots that he was shooting were a little bit far away, but I think he just didn't want to get hit with one of those shots again. But Phil's a tough guy. He'll be back, and I'm excited to see him bounce back from this loss.
What I can say is that I've never been in that same position either. I've been hit and been loopy and kind of still surviving. When I get hit like that, I just fall down. So I never know. Like I never know if it's could I survive that or not? Because I just fell. Then the fight was over. It's like, well, crap. Like I never had a really strong chin, so it was always kind of like one of those deals. Like I hit solid, like he got hit solid in the first 2 minutes. It was kind of over for me. That was the end of it. So it tells you how tough Phil is because Anthony Johnson is a big guy. He is a huge guy. But wrestling wise, once Phil got inside and made it a closer game, he should have been able to take him down. That's what's frustrating is seeing a guy that is on the verge of getting a title shot to now being set back. And who knows? I mean, one guy gets hurt, all of a sudden he's in a title hunt again. But it's just disappointing to see a guy, another fellow wrestler, not make it to the hump because you always want to see every single wrestler every time he fights. I want to see him get over the hump and be in that title shot. So. Yeah. Well, Phil is tough. He'll be back, but your fight's going to be even better come May 17th because this one is a barn burner. Win, lose, or draw, it's going to be an absolute crazy fight. I can't wait to see how this whole thing pans out. You had a taunt and hunt and chase Eddie Alvarez and make him come back. Is he still? He was irritated the way that you kind of like, just come back. I'll give you a title shot right now. Just hurt him come back. Like sign back on the dotted line. Like get back over here. He was irritated at that for a while because he felt like he was being torn between Bellator and UFC, and then all of a sudden. He had the Bellator champ yelling at him to come back. Is that kind of done and over with now, and you guys are kind of back to being the normal, or are you still having to call him out a little bit to make him step up for this fight?
No, I mean, I don't. There's. I think once he signed on that dotted line, he knew. I think it's pretty much out in the public. If he won that first fight, there was going to be another fight with us or between us, and if he lost, he would be, I guess, maybe able to go wherever he wanted to go, right. Supposedly. So. I think he knew what he was contractually obligated to do, and that's the thing about Eddie. He's pretty professional. It's like there's no reason for him to say anything right now because he knows that he has to fight me. He knows what he has in front of him. He's focused on this fight, and that's good because I'm focused on the fight as well. So you got two guys who are focused on one thing, and that's winning May 17th and winning in a dominant fashion. And he's shown how tough he is. I've shown how tough I am. But I just want to go out there and show how skilled I am. I think last fight I showed how tough I was, showed the whole world that I can come at you for 25 minutes and get beat up and not care and just have complete disregard for my body and all that. But I didn't show how truly hard I've been working and how good my coaches and training partners are. And, because I didn't let that translate into my technique and my how skilled I fought last fight. So I want to do that this fight and, go out there and put an exclamation mark on this trilogy.
All right, beautiful. Thanks, Mike, for coming on here with MMA Oddsbreaker. I know I kept you way over time, but I appreciate you staying on here. We'll talk to you soon, bud.
You're all right. Thank you. Appreciate it.